Hey everybody, welcome to the first vlog on my revamped channel, the Gen Y Falconer. Name's Faith. Nice to meet y'all, or re-meet you in some cases, or I don't know, family and friends. I don't know if I could technically meet or re-meet. It's been a long morning. It's been a very, very long morning. The 21-22 falconry season is upon us here in the deserts of Arizona. We don't hunt during the summer because nobody wants to do anything during the summer. Arizona is HE double hockey sticks in the summer. I'm still learning what I want to actually be able to say on here and what I don't, so bear with me. It's been just a crazy couple of days in between my, I can't really call it a day job because we don't really work during the day. We work at night. In between days that I work and my off days, I have been going out and doing what generally everybody does this time of year, looking for a bird. I'm going to be trapping my first bird, as has been done in falconry for the past many, many years, since before even my first ancestors were probably eggs yet, to coin a phrase from a friend of mine. And yeah, that's pretty much how we got to do it. Thankfully, out here in Arizona, I am very privileged to be able to have the opportunity to catch a Harris hawk, as we're part of their northernmost reaches that they've extended as far too. But yeah, so hopefully in another couple of weeks, when everything cools down and when things just start aligning properly, I will have a bird to show you. As of right now, a little bit about myself first, because I've never really done a video on any of this yet. I am a first year. This is my first year as a licensed apprentice. I got my license in June, and I will be an apprentice for 2 years, so this is my first year. And as I said, I'm going to be trapping my first bird, which is what I've been doing and scouting for the last couple of days, thanks to another fellow apprentice. Knows who he is. Thank you. He gave me a tip on where to find some new passage Harris hawks. I'm going to do a whole post probably on the vocabulary on what we use. But for now, passage is a juvenile hawk. They are under a year old. They are out of mom and dad's care, so they know what they're doing to a reasonable degree, I guess you can say. And a falconer simply is kind of, for lack of a better way of putting it, inserting themselves into the equation, basically going out and making that unspoken, un-English speaking, because, animals. I'm going to be silly in this, I'm sorry. But that unspoken kind of, hey, I equate food. You need food. Food is your method of survival. Food is everything. I can help you get it. In which I basically become the dog in the hunting equation. But yeah, been going out scouting and looking for places to find them, which is a trip. We don't have too many, or I haven't seen any down here in my corner of the valley. I have to travel a little bit in order to find them, whether I go down south to Tucson or up northern of Phoenix, which pretty much narrows down an area where I am. But in this case, I've been going to North Phoenix, or the northern end of Phoenix, where I have seen a hawk that keeps a routine so far, because true fact, that can change at any time, but so far every time I've gone up there, we're going to say she because she looks like she's pretty big. And females are bigger than males. She goes to the same spot every single morning. It's like like one of her main spots. I guess she checks first thing. I don't know, but she is always there, right at sunrise. So I've been having to get up super early, super early. I will say about an hour outside of Phoenix. So, I'm up at like 3:30, 4 o'clock, having to get all the way up there by the time sunrise happens. I actually got there earlier than I ever had today. And I was like, oh God, either I'm extremely early or she's late. Because at first I didn't see her, but then out of nowhere she came and landed in her spot, on the fun pole. She's gorgeous. Oh my God, she's so gorgeous. I've seen her dive at stuff. I've seen her just stop in, take off, I'm trying to figure out where her main locale is, so to speak. If she has a pack, because out here in the desert, Harris hawks are known for, unlike other birds of prey, being pack hunters. They hunt in family groups, usually. Which at first made it strange that I only saw her. So last couple of days, like the one day she was there for maybe like not even 5 minutes. She was just there. And then it's like, I'm out. The first day I went up to check her out, she actually came back. So I saw her twice, or what I'm assuming is her twice. For all I know, it could be somebody in her group of pack members. Today, she was there for a decent little while. She tried to come down to like this field-like area on a locale in the community. There's like a ton of food there for her: rabbits, quail, other birds, etc. So it's like going to the buffet essentially. So she kind of swooped around a little bit today, and I tried to follow, which is not easy to do. You are a single human being. In my case, I went by myself, as I've been doing. Human being going out in a car, which is a human contraption, and having to legally park it and drive safely and everything else that society kind of puts on us to make sure that we don't go back to the caveman era of Neanderthals. Although who knows, we may be going backwards to that. Who the heck? I don't know. The world's a funny place right now. They have an advantage that we don't have. They can fly. So she just took off, like straight line, which in my case had houses everywhere, and it's like there was no straight way through. So of course I can't take off after. I did start like noting like where she was, where she's come from. She's come from the same direction every day so far. What made today any different? The fact that I saw more hawks. This was the first time I ever saw more than just her. Originally it was just go to the spot, check her out, see her for a few minutes, wait around, see if she comes back a second go around, which she only did one time that I'm aware of, or while I was watching. But this time, when I started to follow her, I guided myself back around to the spot, and as I'm pulling in, I want to say there were two more. I don't think one of them was her. I don't know. Forgive my computer making lovely noise. I want to say it was her. Or I don't want to necessarily say it's her, sorry. But there were two more. First time I ever saw a pair of Harrises out there. The one stayed up on top of the wire. He or she would not turn around, so I couldn't quite get a good look at whether or not it was a juvenile hawk or an adult hawk. One of the other one though definitely looked juvenile, or passage as we call it, which is that under the year-old mark. Really quick, why does it have to be under a year old? We can't keep fully adult birds. It affects, they could have a mate somewhere, which in turn can affect the breeding population. We don't do it. If we catch a fully adult bird, we release it. But yeah, today was just the first day that I saw two more, or what I'm safely assuming is two more. One had caught a pigeon, and the other one was just kind of hanging out, kind of watching. Again, I couldn't tell whether it was an adult or not. But then they took off over a wall into a community that has signs everywhere. No trespassing, no this, no that. Didn't get out of my car, but I did drive around there just see if I could find them. Couldn't. They were gone. It's frustrating. It's super frustrating. And that's kind of the parts that nobody seems to tell you. I mean, they do, but they don't. Everybody kind of looks at this and thinks, oh, it's so glamorous, it's so this, it's so that. I was not one of them. I knew this was not going to be easy, but sometimes the level of difficulty, so to speak, is a little more surprising than I realized. You're working with a wild animal, trying to get it to trust you and completely go against every instinct it has when it comes to people. Smart animal, by the way. But yeah, I'm not a fan of people. I tolerate them at most. I've been lucky to find a small tribe of people who are kind of like me. But for the most part, normies, no, I don't like them. Most days. There's some days I can very highly tolerate and or even be nice. Which is also kind of not true because, again, my parents raised me right. But yeah, no, it's like you read that it's going to be difficult. People say it's going to be difficult. And then you experience it. And this was the part that I figured that I knew was going to be hard. But I didn't quite know until this degree. I mean, I've gone out a few mornings. The one day I went out at 12, which is the worst time in the world, especially out here. By that point, during the summer, we're hitting the hundreds and everything, and no creature in their right mind is out doing anything more to exert their energy than they have to. But I found a couple of apps that can point in the direction of where certain types of birds have been sighted. Excuse me. Hashtag not sponsored. And I haven't seen anything. They're hard enough to find. And then if it wasn't for this tip, again, thank you to my fellow apprentice that told me, I haven't seen any birds other than them. Or the single one. And then today, the pair. The pair, I got super lucky. I just pulled over when I realized, I'm like, those are not pigeons. Those are big birds. And it turns out to be two Harris hawks. It's not easy. And this was the scary part. And it's especially scary when you're doing it alone. It's rough because I don't know anybody who wants to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning just to go out and look for birds in what could be a situation where they may or may not be there. So it's rough. And at least with another person, I would figure, at least one person can look for the birds while the other one's driving. I can't do that. I have to watch the road. I can't afford another ticket. I'm already still paying off my debt to society with a previous one that I had that didn't even involve my personal car. Go figure. In other words, insurance is not kind to me right now. So I can't afford to make that any higher. So I have to drive excruciatingly carefully. And then having to worry about, like, if you're going onto or into a community out here, it's private property. You have to respect their rules and such. On top of that, in typical birdwatcher form, you have binoculars. You have, in my case, I had a camera. You fully look like a weirdo. I had my licenses and everything just like at right next to me, like on the seat, like ready to grab it any second, because I'm like, somebody's gonna call. Somebody's gonna call the cops or something. Thankfully, hasn't happened yet. But yeah, I laugh and say these are the parts that they don't tell you. I mean, you can listen to stories and stuff like that, but until you actually experience it yourself, like even me telling you guys, whether you're interested in learning it or whether you're not, and you have, you're just listening to me give stories, it's rough. It's very rough. And today I just pulled over in the middle of northern Phoenix. Went out to like a trail type area to see if maybe I can get like a good visual on them, like a mountain trail kind of area. I just pulled over because I was just getting so frustrated. And I just bawled my eyes out for like a good whatever. Posted in a very nice group I'm on Facebook. And just vented. I'm like, is it normal to feel this incompetent and incapable? Like, I'm not, it's hard because I'm not expecting it to be easy, but at the same time, it's crazy. It's flipping crazy. How difficult it is just to find a bird out here. And then try to follow and make sure that you're going to have a chance when it comes time to trap them, humanely, by the way. Make sure that they're going to see it, that you have a good spot to throw the trap down in, that you're not violating any being on private land or anything. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I just bawled my eyes out just like typing, this whole long message, thankfully, to woman Falconers group, and because I vented. Like, is this normal to feel this way? I messaged my sponsor, who in the case of falconry, sponsor is like your mentor. It's an apprenticeship, so you're learning from somebody who knows, the ropes and everything. And my sponsor's an awesome person. Oh my God. But I've asked so many. Some of them are ridiculous because I like to overthink. It's a very big flaw of mine. But I feel like there are days where I just feel like I'm being a bother. And I just want to kind of see if I can maybe handle it by myself. But even that's not the perfect way of explaining if there are any sounds picking up. I'm sorry, by the way. I live with family. But yeah, no, I messaged my sponsor, like, is this normal or is it just me? Like, I don't know. Some people get a nice, easy, in the right place at the right time. Others, I know some people it took them ages to trap their bird. And then on top of that, it's like the scary thought of having to do it again next year if I do make the decision that it's better to release them at the end of the season, like, true falconry form. Like, you hunt with the bird for a season, you let them go, and then you do it all over again. It's like, this is the hardest part. Like, just getting the bird is the hardest part. And I'm sure I hear folks who aren't familiar with it saying, why don't you just buy one? And that's a whole other kettle of fish. It's like, this is a skill I need to know how to do as a falconer, is how to trap a bird. And, get it to trust me, get it to understand that I want to help them. and again, break every instinct that it's known to have against humans. So it's, when they say in the books that it's tough, they ain't kidding. It's tough. It's frustrating. I'm totally grateful for the support that I have, both in the days of social media, and my sponsor and everybody. And I don't know. I just don't want to be that guy where it's just a matter of, it looks like I don't want to do the work. I want to. I've been going out every day. Or not every day. I take my days off from work because work, I have to focus. If I don't work, I don't make money. I can't do this. Because yes, falconry involves money. Is it a rich man's sport? No. But it involves money. You need money for gas. You need money for equipment. You need money for food when the bird hasn't caught anything. Vet bills, you know? It's not a pet, but it has a lot of the same qualities as one. So, long and short of it is like, I just figured I'd get this out there. You know, I don't know if I wanted to make this my first vlog post, but this is no joke. It's no joke at all. They, when they say it's hard, it's hard. You got to be able to put in legwork and the commitment to it. It's tough. And there are some days where I just feel like I'm going to break. And I guess this is a good life lesson to have, where it kind of teaches you that this is going to break you, or this could break you. But if you want to do it, you have to commit to it and pick yourself back up. And I guess that's the good thing, you know, the silver lining that I found today. It's a little bit disheartening. It's a little bit frustrating. But I guess in the end, when I finally do catch the bird, whether it's the hawk I've been following the last couple of days or the last week, or if it's a hawk somewhere else. I think one of the commenters on my venting post said it perfectly. It's like, the bird's out there. My bird is out there, whether it's going to be this one or a different one. It's out there, and I'm going to find it, and I'm going to trap it. And when it happens, it's going to be even more need for patience, need for understanding, because this is only the beginning. So, like, I still have the whole, like I said, once the bird's here, then it's a whole other round of insanity. So, just thought I'd get that off my chest. Again, I'm not going to give up. There's no way in down there that I'm going to give up. There are just some days where it's a little bit harder than others. It's going to happen. I have every bit of faith that it's going to happen. No pun intended. But yeah, it's going to happen. But the journey to get there is tough. So if you're considering it, or wanting to get into it, or getting more info out of it, or in order to be able to do the sport, like get your license and stuff, know that this is not an overnight thing. This is never going to be an overnight thing. It's work. And if you don't want to put in the legwork, spare yourself the trouble. I'm determined to do it. I have every intention of doing it. I'm probably going to mope about it, but that's why the hawk is my spirit animal. True fact. Hawks just tend to be a little bit more mopey than, say, falcons, but we'll get into that another day. This has already gone on for long enough. So, welcome aboard, or just reminding that my, blog/blog exists. I hope you, subscribe and stuff if you want to watch the journey a little bit further, because the season is just getting started. So until then, or until next time, Faith, Gen Y Falconer, out.